Today with all the news that's going on here in Los Angeles at the Arena of Valor World Cup and at AOV Esports is worth a look as well. You want to come and see the finals? You want to come and see the best teams in the world fight it out next week? 26th and 27th of July. We will be at a TCL Chinese Theatre in Hollywood. That's where they hold the Oscars, and that's where we're going to hold the Arena of Valor World Cup final. So join us there, and your tickets are at AOVWorldCup2018.eventbrite.com. Buy your ticket, come and join us next week for the final of this. And then the day after, 29th of July, is Swag Sunday. Now that we've crowned our world champion, then you can get your free DC superhero or super villain in-game. So get that on Swag Sunday and keep your eye out on game for more news about that as well. So much to do, so much already happened, stories to come, and amazing performances I have no doubt are going to be witnessed today. So let's get into them then. Our Group A decider match is going to be between Singapore and North America. North America, like we're here in Los Angeles, they want to stick around in this thing. Singapore are showing, yeah, we should have qualified for this in the first place. You didn't realize what we've got. Let's go over to our casters. It's TJ and Opal, and it's Singapore against North America on Do or Die Day at the World Cup.
Thank you, Matt, and welcome everybody to day 3 of the Arena of Valor
Elimination Day!
World Cup group stage. I'm Opal, joined by TJ. TJ, you're a little too excited, but I can't blame you. Like Matt mentioned, this is do or die for a lot of these teams. Final day of groups, we are going to be knowing our final 8 teams moving on into the knockout stage.
Yes, North America is playing up first, joined by Singapore. This first matchup is easily the most exciting matchup for me because there's a chance the home team is going home.
And they might need that a link to go get the tickets if they want to even come to the World Cup, but we'll have to see. After that, that will be Chinese Taipei taking on Indonesia, then Chinese Taipei wildcard going up against Europe. And to finish off our group stage, it will be Thailand wildcard taking on South America.
And for me, I want to talk about North America here because they came into this kind of accepting maybe their first game would be rough, but let's face it, with Singapore in the group, we've never seen them before. They're set. This North American team, I think, had a bit of a shell shock yesterday.
Yeah, they felt a little bit out of place perhaps, but let's get into it. MTS, Pew, Sleepy, KO, and Rest going to be starting things off here today.
And, well, let's talk about Rest. He was the star player for that team during the Valor series. I think he had something insane like 90% kill participation on supports. But here he struggled a tad.
Yeah, he's sitting at approximately 44%. That is a drastic drop, and you gotta bump up those numbers if you want to try and contest here on the world stage. But across the stage, taking them on, it will be Singapore, who shocked us all yesterday by taking off a game on one of our tournament favorites. For Singapore, going to be El Espresso, Says, Tainted Ones, Dusk, and 813.
If you were North America watching Thailand lose game 1 yesterday.
Scary.
Yeah, very scary indeed. Singapore, we don't quite know what they can do yet. We've seen them take 1 game off of the tournament favorites. However, we haven't seen any more than that. So it's not fair to say they're the favorite. It is, however, entirely fair to say that North America should be a little bit worried.
Yeah, they need to be sure on what they're getting into, and for that, we're going to go ahead and take a look and see how the teams are feeling heading into possibly their most important match of the World Cup.
Nothing to lose. We'll strive for the best.
We just played very aggressive throughout the whole game, and we played clean.
Our team is newly formed, so we have our different mindset.
My team's strength mainly is just the unrelenting aggression.
Yeah, watch out for your double spot, Miller.
We'll keep playing aggressive even if we're behind.
All the teams haven't seen us before, so they might be surprised with our gameplay.
And aggression is the name of the game, TJ, for North America. But Singapore, they were aggressive in their matchup yesterday. They went against Thailand, one of the most aggressive teams in the world, and they were able to hold up.
One of the most successfully aggressive teams in the world, and successfully Singapore shut that down. We saw a ton of very good pressure into the jungle. It was a very intelligent look from Singapore, and if you're looking to play Thailand style into them again, and you don't have the title of the world's best team, North America have to be a tad worried.
And they have nothing to lose, but let's get to our coin flip. It is going to be North America getting first side's choice in the series. And that is really important. It looks like they're opting in to stay on both sides from the looks of it. We'll have to double check here quite shortly, but that's very important if you're able to get this first pick, TJ.
Yeah, blue side coming through for North America. That's exciting. First pick to them. We saw yesterday Singapore had very targeted bans. If North America are taking this seriously, they have the problem of there's only one VOD of Singapore playing competitively. I'm sure they played scrims, but it's fair to say nobody quite knows what Singapore can bring North America. There's an entire Valor series to look back on.
Yeah, and that gives Singapore possibly the opportunity to do that research, see how they played, and maybe look, because for North America, these are organizations that have lots of support staff, but for Singapore, they're honestly quite a new team.
Yeah, North America has the benefit of allegiance. They are the allegiance signed team, meaning they have an entire support staff, a team house. They come into this with every possible advantage, including a massive experience benefit.
For North America, that's got to give them some confidence as they head into this matchup, so they can go on into the knockout stage and play their way to the Chinese theater next weekend. And that's also some pressure for you, because you're on home turf, you're trying to defend your region's honor, you're trying to come out here, do your best, make your way to the grand final in front of the home audience.
North America, they're a team that did not drop a single game throughout the entirety of Valor series. They are easily the best that America has to offer as a region, and I can't wait to see how they do here in their second game of the Valor series.
Well, let's get into it. Pick and bans underway for game one between North America and Singapore. The Arum going to be the first ban for North America.
North America doing what Thailand did yesterday, sticking to standard bans. If you don't quite know what Singapore is going to pull out, you get rid of what you know might be a problem.
I'm liking this, though, from Singapore. Going to ban out the Grak. It's been kind of a pop-up pick here at the tournament. It's rather quite popular.
Yeah, Grak is one of the best support characters because he has infinite CC. If you're ever wanting to stop somebody from diving your backline, if you ever want to be able to shut down, pin down characters, Grak is the one to do it. He's a little bit tricky, though, because you need to have follow-up, and that requires coordination.
And as oftentimes we saw it paired with the Slims, because it allowed for the Easy Spear to be locked on. For North America, though, going to be the Flash for the second ban.
Flash coming out as a very powerful mage, and one that was run to brutal efficiency over on the Singapore side yesterday. Tainted Ones, I believe, took the helm there, and he was so good in those team fights with the CC.
Well, for Singapore, going to be banning out the Teamy.
Ooh.
That's more of an expected one, and that kind of starts hitting at Res.
I would say, yes, that's a ban against Rest, but also 831 rather ran a very, very good Teamy. They are not running him here today. They've subbed in Aris in their place. I want to know if that's an intentional play of, we know we have to face up against Rest, we bring in a substitute.
For North America, though, final ban coming on through, the Malik, which has been either picked or banned this entire time. We're still got about 4 heroes that can lay claim to the 100% pick or ban for Singapore. Last one's going to be, of course, the Superman.
We have seen a Superman played, and I believe it was an excellent reminder of why Superman is normally banned.
When it helps you take a game off some tournament favorites, you're going to likely have to ban that out if you are on the red side. But for North America, TJ, what should be their priority here? What do you want to try and claim with the first pick?
I want to see something very early on. I'd like to see them pick up something for Rest. Like you say, he's been struggling. I want a good support in his hands. I also want something for Pew, because Pew is their jungler, and Pew is one of the more aggressive junglers in the entire AWC. If he can get a good characters to support that, like say a Lindis, that's massive.
That would be very nice for Pew. Again, the Korean coming on over to North America and also bringing that play style from the region.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
at the moment, Pew sits around second overall in damage taken, damage dealt when it comes to junglers.
And that just shows that he's constantly taking fights. Many junglers like to sit more passively inside their own jungle and farm up for much of the early game. Pew, from a very early point, is involved in these fights, dealing damage. With a Lindis, he's going to deal a lot of damage fairly early on.
All right, Zenial getting locked in here for Singapore, and the Omen.
Big. They get both Zenial and his potential counter Omen. That means that their split lane is going to be terrifying, because you can have the Omen just chewing through towers, I assume, from bot, and then you have the Zenial up top, instantly able to rejoin any fight should he get split up.
For North America, though, gonna go ahead, lock in the Grixie
Oh!
themselves, and the Alice gonna be also locked in for North America.
Grixie Alice, now that's a combo. Do you like magic damage?
Do you like combinations that help shred apart a team at a choke point?
How'd you know?
Do massive AoE, literally throw a moon at you?
Wow, that's sounds deadly, and it is.
It's very deadly. That's oftentimes the highest mage with damage per minute.
How many times this entire AWC have we seen a Grixie picked? Because it's something insane. I think
this would make it 14 out of 20 games. Either pick or banned.
Wow. That's very high for a character that wasn't even regularly chosen in any of the regions prior to the AWC.
Singapore, they're going to respawn here with the Liliana and, of course, the Joker.
I like Liliana because we saw Tainted Ones on the Mage really excel with the high mobility flash. Liliana is the second highest mobility mage.
I am a bit concerned here for North America. The Chugnar and the Scud both getting locked in here, TJ. I'm concerned about the Chugnar because this would be his 10th game played across the tournament, and he sits about at a 30% win rate.
Yeah, we haven't seen a ton of very powerful Chugnars, but here's how this set works. You have MTS and Rest kind of power farming, or MTS and Pew, power farming Pew. Because he's going to have the Lindis, presumably. They're going to put him in the jungle, and you'll put the Alice with him, and that's probably actually going to be Rest, not MTS. I'm getting mixed up because the characters are in the wrong order.
All good. It's all good.
But the point is, you get the Alice constantly following around the farm in the early game, and then you run the Chugnar and the Scud, each in split lane. Probably Chugnar bot, Scud top lane. And when you can do that, you can rely on neither tower to fall, and that's enough. If you can play defensive throughout the early game, this composition will excel in team fights, especially once Pew is amped up towards the late game. You're going to have Rest able to combo very well with Sleepy and the two front lines, Chugnar, and of course that Scud will do such a good job of preventing the dive.
For Singapore, though, their final pick came on through. It was the Slims, who are going to have the long-range spear to find the stuns. But not a lot of follow-up, you could say, because usually you pair that up with the Grak that can just bring them back into the rest of the team. I think this is the first time, actually, you don't see that pairing with the Slims.
Slims is going to be fun to see because it's all on the stun. Without the combo, without the follow-up, he's going to have somebody else diving in. Maybe the Omen takes the lead there.
That's a good possibility. And another one, Omen, has been extremely popular so far. I believe he's also one of our pick or bans when it comes to the tournament. And it's always been a powerful pick. We've seen it last night with China and Thailand wildcard, where they were able to exert a push, even dive underneath a tower, take it against two members whacking away on top of the Omen. So that gives Singapore, some options when it comes to this game. It feels like for NA, there might not be as many answers available.
Omen across 9 matches has a 77% win rate. That's a very, very high win rate for a split lane that's been as active as that one has.
We're going to go ahead, get into game 1 between North America and Singapore. Remember, the winner of this series will advance on to the knockout stage. North America going to make their way toward the top side of the map, steal away the Might Golem. A little bit of a reset here coming out from MTS as he's looking to delay Singapore as long as possible.
I really, really like the fact that Singapore are instantly responding back. They have exactly the same challenge that North America does, and this is what we were looking for. Yes, NA is going to be aggressive, shut that down, or respond in kind.
Up toward the top side, though, El Preso going to be looking to farm away. 3 members of Singapore down toward this bot side, maybe wanting to try and find some pressure early, because you want to try and pick up that early Abyssal Dragon once it spawns onto the map to start accelerating your experience and gold.
That Abyssal Dragon will be so important, and Singapore had such good objective control yesterday. Typically, the North American side, Allegiance, during the Valor series was very, very focused on tower control, which may make them vulnerable to a gold game from Singapore gaining the lead.
You see North America actually looking to pressure toward the top side of the map, sending 4 members. Ari's got to be a little bit careful himself. Pew's able to get some damage. Tainted One's going to get stunned up there by Rest on the Alice, is able to land it. It's going to force Tainted One's back underneath the tower.
That's the early example of Pew's aggression. Already on the Lindis, taking advantage of control and damage, powering through at least half of the HP bar of that Liliana.
Do see Pew looking to clear out the Spirit Sentinel up toward the top side. El Preso coming on down, possibly going to look to reset. Pew going to come down toward that mid lane. Zay's looking for the spear, not going to find it though.
Zay's will be a key member of this team if he's able to find the big stuns, able to find the initiations. They have follow-up, but he's also got to be protected during these fights because he doesn't have a lot of mobility.
Ayers has to be a bit careful here on that Joker. He's just looking to get some poke down onto North America, but if you get caught out there by Rest, and I got to highlight that already, he's been able to land a lot of key stuns.
If North America find a continual poke like this, they could just get the Abyssal for free because Singapore don't have the HP bars to contest.
Dusk is around the corner. Ayers wants to come around toward the side. Sleepy actually goes on over the wall with the Moonfall, looking for first blood, won't find it, but North America do secure the Abyssal Dragon.
I like the early aggression, definitely showing off that they're in this game and they're here to push, keep Singapore back.
That's all important. You want to play aggressive into this team. That's where NA feels like they're the strongest when it comes to early aggression. If you remember, during the Valor series in North America, they had one of the quickest game times when it came to the season, somewhere around the lines of 11 minutes to 12 minutes. They like to end games fast. NA looking to even push up toward the jungle. Do not secure that Sage Golem, though.
But the fact that they're trying means everything. Like you say, they're a very, very quick-moving team. If Allegiance are on point, if North America are on point, they're doing stuff like that.
Okay, I'm going to go back up toward the top side of the map. Lots of players from both sides starting to look for a fight here up toward the top side. Hissy Fake goes on down. The Zenyo going to come on in. Dusk wants to join in on the party. Sleepy's going to get caught out. That's going to be first blood going to Singapore, but KO wants to land some of his own. 2 for 1. Singapore are able to limp back underneath their tower.
Very good call by Singapore, though, again demonstrating their teamwork and game knowledge. This second they get what they want, they're able to smoothly and cleanly disengage, walk away with the victory in the fight.
And that's an early fight toward the top side of the map where NA does not come out on top. And that's going to be a key factor for them because they wanted to play aggressive, but Singapore are able to respond.
Here's that first blood again. Watch El Espresso. He's going to be an easy first kill theoretically, but he's able to fully disengage. And I really like that from the player, knowing the exact limits of Omen and how to zoom out of a space where he's threatened.
Still see, though, 4 members of Singapore toward the top side of the map. It's a 3-man roaming unit coming on through, trying to go toe-to-toe with North America in the river, especially around the Spirit Sentinel. NA, though, have priorities. They're going to go ahead, roam back toward this Abyssal Dragon that's about to spawn.
Abyssal Dragon will be very important again because this gold game is eking back in favor of Singapore very slowly. They're out farming during this current phase. If North America can keep getting the major objectives, they'll maintain a gold lead and win most of these fights.
Abyssal Dragon going to be started up here by North America. Want to try and bring it out of the pit. Dusk is over toward the side. Ayers has to be careful. Uses the flicker, but he's caught out. Nice. The Joker is down. Pew is able to pick up the kill. And now the Abyssal Dragon for the taking for North America.
Easy pickup for North America, and that gives them the gold they need, as well as a kill.
Dusk, he's caught out toward the side. Doesn't have a whole lot of room to work with, but does get himself back under the tower. North America still applying the pressure, but look out from the river, TJ. You still have 2 members of Singapore looking to set up a trap.
I was looking... Oh, yes, Pew. That's dangerous. Very dangerous.
Gets taken down extremely low. Tainted Ones is going to go for the kill, and we'll find it. MTS wanting to run interference. Sleepy comes back and is able to trade back a kill. Rest, though, gets deleted. Moonfall, though, will respond with a kill. The double knockup, and this is the power of this pick. Sleepy is just popping off into a triple kill.
A triple kill in the fight, and an extremely well-deserved one. He dominates with clever placement of the knockups. Every single ability he fired off slowed down the fight and gave his team a chance to react.
And that's going to be a 2,000 gold lead for North America at 6 minutes. 2 Abyssal Drakes on the table. The kill count in their favor. A good start to game one.
And look at where the gold's concentrated on the North American side. It's exactly what you want. Pew is currently leading with 3K. The Crixie's not far behind.
Yeah, but Pew, he led a little too far forward and got caught out.
Yeah, and that was nice to see Singapore very well versed at punishing mistakes like this. I really love that combo as well with the Omen setting up for the Riki shot from the Liliana. It's a very slow-moving projectile, but they nailed it.
And this is important for North America. Getting this first-tier tower in the mid lane allows them to open up the jungle through the midsection of the map and continue to apply pressure for these Abyssal Dragons. Next one up in 15 seconds.
Singapore may start to worry now because there's a lot of pressure going their way.
Sleepy can't be sleeping like that early on. Maybe he fell asleep. First game of the day, gets caught out in the jungle, gives Singapore a little bit of a chance here. Presso has to be careful. Dust comes in for the shield and wants to join in on the fight. They're going to be able to take him down. Tainted Ones is able to survive. Pew gets dragged back into the fight. Singapore find 2 kills.
That was so good from both Tainted, Espresso, and Zaze. That's 3 people, not both, but every single one of them played right to the limits of their HP and was able to successfully back out. The communication on Singapore, just the team fight prowess from a newly formed team is really, really nice.
But up in the top lane, TJ, North America are able to find 2 towers of their own. KL will fall, but opens up the map toward the top side.
Absolutely a worthwhile trade for North America. 2 towers for 1 kill is entirely acceptable, and it even keeps the gold in their favor, despite the fact that there's a 2-kill lead in the scoreline to Singapore.
Well, Rest gets poked there. Look at this, though. Singapore have the positioning around the Abyssal Dragon toward the bot side of the map. North America have kind of let this one go, it would seem. What is the play?
I think North America maybe aren't quite paying attention to the bottom side of this map because they want pressure in the mid lane, and, well, that's a completely blown opportunity. Singapore now back with the gold lead, and that's going to get very close very quickly.
So Singapore is able to keep this game pretty much tied at this point, only down by 500 gold, and might be looking for a kill toward the bot lane. KO gets poked underneath his tower, but he's still safe. But look at this. Once again, Sleepy setting up a trap in the river, wants to go for the play. Rest is over there to the side, and the pinch comes on down. Sleepy will find the kill onto the Joker. Zaze gets taken down. Dust tries to get out of harm's way. The auto is actually following him all the way back, and he will get taken on down by Pew.
Nicely done by Pew. A great executed gank there from North America. They find exactly what they want. Let's take a look at it again, because what they did here from Sleepy was perfect. He pops the Moonfall and chases down Aris, and in the meantime, Rest, the player we highlighted as someone who needed to excel here, does so, slowing down the fight and allowing the punish to come through once the Crixie is done with her primary task.
A great performance so far. 8 assists out of the 9 kills, really bumping up that kill participation that we saw during the regular season of the Valor series. And this is the North America that we are used to. Tainted One comes on over, though. KO gets trapped, and the Omen ultimate locks him down. Sleepy brings down the sky onto Dust, though. Pew is able to secure the kill, and Zaze is just getting chunked out. The stun is able to save him, but the rest of his team is going to fall. It's a 3-for-1 for North America.
Rest and Sleepy, they have similar names, and you can see why they work so well together. Every single time that Alice Hissy Fit comes out, it's perfectly spaced almost every single time, entirely within the circumference of Moonfall, which means anyone standing in it is slowed down, bogged down, and hammered by the magic damage that's amplified onto them.
And that's going to be the high ground tower falling in the bot lane. Sleepy brings out the Moonfall once again, just looking to signal out members of Singapore. The second high ground tower now falling in mid lane.
North America 1 game or 1 moment away from claiming the first game towards their quarterfinal dream.
North America being the West Hope, it would seem. KO toward the top side of the map, wanting to apply pressure, and NA starting to group up toward the top side here. Could be looking for a Dark Slayer.
All Singapore need to do is hold on. We're at the 10-minute mark. That's relatively late into a game, and they're not at that much of a deficit. If they could find a few pinks here, slow down the pace, there's an opportunity for them to come back into this game.
Well, North America, they keep setting up these traps through the river, and it's been paying off.
Love that. The fact that North America is doing this is kind of a new addition to the Allegiance playstyle, I think, and I've loved every single instance of it because it's been so well executed. We were watching the boot camp and we were a bit worried about their synergy with Pew, but he's looked perfect, constantly in sync with his team.
You can see Singapore, they're looking to check, and just the damage alone brings the Omen to half health. The knockup comes on down, and Sleepy, he is ultimate for a reason. Dusk now inside the Moonfall, has to run away. He came in toward the fight, but he had to back off immediately.
I loved that. We were just talking up Pew's synergy with the team. His entrapments were perfectly timed. Maybe they don't find damage, but they all found slows, and that's the name of the game. When you have a Crixie, you want to slow down people's escape, keep them tied within the Moonfall so that you can find kills, so that you can convert for a Dark Slayer, and maybe take your first game of this all-important BO3.
6,000 gold up at 12 minutes, 13-9 the kills for North America in Game 1. Looking to lock their slot into the knockout stage. Take a look on your mini-map. You see KO, he's caught out there. 3 members of Singapore. What does North America do? They go straight up to the top side.
2 people here to defend.
Oh, tainted one.
Oh, that's dangerous. This tower's gone.
And that is going to be all the high ground towers now taken down by North America. Nothing but the core remaining for Singapore.
That means 3 super minions now accompany every single North American wave, and they've got to be very, very happy with that.
And it's very rare we find teams bring back a game this dire. Singapore, though, they want to try. This is a team that has nothing to lose. You heard them say it themselves. They will play until their last dying breath. North America, though, they might be looking to finally put them into the ground.
I've loved this from North America because it's such a different look from the team. They're so concentrated on tower control. They always had that in them. Here, though, they haven't even really worried about kills unless they can convert them to objectives. They are looking very much like some of the stronger Asian teams.
You can see cutting those waves, trying to delay the game. Zays has to run for his life, but he's got 3 members of North America right on top of him. KO will pick up the kill.
Slims will go down in the top lane. Zay's absent now for 34 seconds, and that makes this final base defense possibly very difficult indeed for Singapore.
Sleepy is just looking to poke back Singapore. Now the minions starting to crash in. Dusk wants to lead the charge, but North America, they just go for the core. Open up day 3 with a victory over Singapore and take a 1-0 lead in the series.
They don't look relaxed yet. Little bit of high fives going around. Sleepy happy with Pew, and I would be as well.
Yeah, I would be too. He played pretty awesome. The whole team, that midsection of the map, performed beautifully.
That was exactly what I was hoping for in my wildest dreams from North America. Exactly what I think many of the fans from North America wanted to see from the home team.
You saw Singapore there looking a little bit stunned, a little bit unsure here as they start off day 3. A little bit quiet it would be.
They said they had nothing to lose. I think that was true yesterday. You could see it in how they played when they took a game against Thailand. When you take a game off against Thailand, though, surely something in your head goes, maybe we have a shot at this. And all of a sudden, all the nerves, all the pressure comes crashing back down. This is an even set, and they know it. But let's have a word with Sleepy.
Yeah, about to say 46.7% of the team's damage. A little bit ridiculous, TJ.
Hello,
just a little bit.
Alice better. We're going to see a lot more of that in future games.
It's fun. It's fast. It just rains down upon the enemy team. Let's take a look at the highlights.
I loved every single time they had a team fight, they tried to get this combo working. We highlighted it even in the draft. The Hissy Fit goes out, and they instantly have a Moonfall to follow up. Even when they don't have a direct Hissy Fit, which they normally tried, or it's split like this, they always had other characters applying slows. That's very useful when you have someone like MTS, who has a slow. Somebody like the Lindis coming through with this slow on the entrapment. Every single character can contribute to setting Sleepy up to do that.
Just makes it rain. Even the auto attacks following Dusk all the way to his doom. And then, of course, the final push where NA just secured the win.
And I love this final push as well because it just shows what North America are focusing on. Take down the core, win the game. Take down the towers, win the game. The kills were relatively even, but North America didn't drop a single tower this game.
And that's got to hurt for Singapore. They had one Abyssal Dragon for themselves. That's a little bit of a highlight, but They were able to trade back kills. It just became the objective game because North America, they were able to seize the opportunities when they did find kills.
Yeah, look at the KDA. Not that different. There's definitely a deficit on the Singapore side, but if you just look at that screen, it's a pretty close game. It was only when we got to the latter half of the game when the towers just started crumbling.
As you can see here, we are going to have a side swap. This time around, Singapore going to be on your blue side with first pick. TJ, does this change up the draft?
Singapore was very, very good in the drafting phase against Thailand, so I do think this is a possibility for them to take what they've learned in game number 1 and apply it vehemently to this drafting phase, maybe do something clever, and definitely break up that combo.
Well, this is very important here because you come into game 2 for North America. They need to win this series, but from our calculations, they have to end this series here if they want a shot to make it into the knockout stage, and they need to do it now because if they actually go 2-1, they will have to play against Singapore one more time at the very end of the day because of the match rulings.
Yeah, so just because of the games that were won and lost individually, this is going to be a tied set if they win it 2-1. They must win it 2-0. And North America have the opportunity to do it. Singapore, if they want to extend this series, they can do so just with one win.
Well, here we go. Game 2. Pick or bans coming on through. Singapore going to be on your blue side. North America on your red side. TJ, the Crixie, do you let it through?
I actually don't mind letting through the Crixie. Yes, it's powerful, but it can be countered. What you absolutely must not let North America pick up is Crixie Alice.
Because that gives Rest so many options, allows you to catch out members of Singapore and then lay down that hissy fit, apply extra damage. Just the combo is lethal for Singapore, though. Going to be banning out the Teamy. Instead, North America banning away the Superman on the red side.
Yeah, I'm actually a bit questioning of this Grak ban right now because I know you could put Rest on Grak, but I don't specifically recall him being exceptional on him, so I genuinely don't think it's something that needs to be prioritized.
For North America, going to be banning out the Lindis. Singapore's final ban going to be the Flash. North America, Aram also going to be taken off the table. Singapore, they have options. What do they want to go for here first? Do you want to try and take the Alice away from North America? Do you want to try and secure one of those mages? TJ,
I want to first pick Crixie.
I think you have to.
The problem is Tainted One has definitely shown a preference towards high mobility mages. So they're going to have to talk through with Tainted One if that's something he feels comfortable playing. And if it's not, then I guess you have to first pick Alice just to keep it away.
Because you can't let both of those go over to North America.
They disagree.
Okay. Singapore, they say it's a style of our own. It's going to be Rourke getting locked in.
Rourke actually only at 22% win rate currently across 9 matches. He's had an underwhelming performance here in the AWC, and I'm a little bit confused as to why you feel the need to first pick him.
I feel like this is obvious for North America. At this point, they can easily lock this in, but they might want to prioritize something else while it's available.
MTS will be hovering over what I think is a great pickup, get the Malik away. I have to wonder for Singapore if this is a deliberate strategy to shut down Pew, and if it is, I disagree with it, because Pew can play so many more things. I don't think he's who you should be targeting.
And you know, for North America, maybe they did their research. Maybe they looked at Tainted One's hero pool and said, hey, you know what? We don't have to lock in the Crixie right away. Instead, pick up the Moloch, pick up that Alice for Rest because he was able to perform so well in Game 1.
Dusk over on Singapore was an insane Malik yesterday. Even in the games they lost. If he was on Malik, I was very impressed.
Okay.
Oh.
All right,
the bluff has been called.
All right, Singapore, they say you left it open. We gave you the chance to take this one away. We're going to take it. Bring it in for Tainted Ones on the Crixie. For North America, how do they respond? What does the plan hold for Sleepy?
Well, he's got a viable mage. There certainly are plenty. The easy way to deal with a Crixie is to dive. We've seen that many times. What they have over on the North American side is a composition entirely capable of that.
Pretty much saying, hey, you want to go ahead, try and bring out the Crixie. We're going to go ahead and just take you on down because Sleepy and KO lock in the Omen and the Liliana.
If you want to stop the dive to come through on your Crixie, you need characters with a ton of knockups, characters that can slow down a team fight and protect your glass cannon in the back. One of the characters that could do this would be an Arduin, and as well, I think maybe the Rourke actually finds more success here because he's able to find sustained fights onto people, amplifying his passive that of course allows him to do more damage as a fight goes on.
The issue though for the Rourkes has been when teams play aggressive into them, and this is North America, a team that had an 11 to 12 minute game time on average in the Valor series. They will play aggressive and try and shut down that jungle.
And I certainly would hope for nothing less. This Charganar Arduin tank combo I like because it's the slows we were talking about. If you want to back up a Crixie, you need the characters that are both capable of defending the Crixie and the characters that are capable of keeping people within range of that Moonfall ultimate and the other high damage abilities.
Now for North America, final pick coming on through, currently hovering the Slims they wanted to go to, and it's going to get locked in. All right.
Is that... surely that's not Pew on the Slims in the jungle?
It might be.
I'm excited. I've never seen the Slims from Pew. I'm sure he's played it, but it's never been in one of the games I've reviewed, and I'm very excited for that.
We'll have to see how Pew is going to be able to perform on here. It actually looks like North America just chose in the order they wanted to because there's no trades going on through. Everybody's got their hero. They're happy. They're ready for game 2. And this is a very important one. You don't want to have to play another best of 1 at the end of the day. You want to try secure your spot in the knockout stage for tomorrow.
This is, as a reminder, a very crucial game for North America. If they want this game to count as a win, securing them as the second seed in the group, they need to win 2-0. If they win 2-1 against Singapore, then we go to another game, a decider game, to break the tie, because Singapore won a game earlier in this group against Thailand.
Well, we'll have to see. Either way, we're going to go ahead, load on in for game 2. And TJ, when I'm looking at these rosters, at these compositions for Singapore, it's about protecting Tainted Ones, trying to allow Zays on the Rourke to get farmed. North America, you know what? They just want to go for those dives, like you mentioned.
And they've got a very good composition to do so. Watch that Slims to find key stuns. Rest on the Alice will be laying out the Hissy Fits and other zoning tools to slow down the fights and allow allow the Slims to stay safe at the back. While they're doing that, you're going to have the Omen diving and isolating characters. Very, very good for pinning down a Crixie. And if you can find those engages, burn down Tainted Ones who we haven't seen excel on a glass cannon type mage character, we may see a very quick series indeed.
Well, here we go. Game 2 between Singapore and North America. North America with the advantage in the series, 1-0.
One game away
One
from
game from
qualification
knockouts
to the quarterfinals.
That's so important right now, as they're going to go ahead, go for the invade up toward the top side of the map with the Rourke. Meanwhile, Pew going to go ahead, trade the Might Golem. I'm interested with Pew because this is more of a playmaking jungler rather than, you know, the lot of damage we'd see with like a Lindis.
Yeah, and Pew is a very, very aggressive jungler, as we've talked about previously, so I do wonder how this Slims is going to play. You can build Slims for a ton of damage, but when you do that, he tends to have to stay in a fight, engaged.
You can see how important that was. A snipe
nice. I
from
take it all
across the river. First blood for North America.
You're finding a crucial spear throw. That was nuts.
He called us out, TJ. He said, oh, they're down if I'm going to be able to play the Slims. Well, first blood at the first minute here for North America. A beautiful way to start off game 2.
The key players to watch here are Espresso in the split lane for me. His Irie is very, very good.
Oh,
here's that stun again.
Goodness, you saw how far that was. Pew, come on, man. It's game 2. We know you want to make it to the knockout stage, but you can't be playing dirty already like that.
You got to save that, right? That's at least a quarterfinals play.
Exactly. Those are the game-turning plays. But down in bot lane, a response here from Singapore. They want to go for the play onto MTS, but they can't finish him off.
No, MTS on the Malik is one of the tankier characters, and here's NA looking for the punish.
able to find the spear. The combo comes through from the Alice, but there's no follow-up yet from North America, instead opting to try and push back Singapore into their jungle.
Dragon is up, so any kills found here decide which team gets it, most likely a very, very important indicative factor to which team takes the game.
We can just see Rest right now. He's hiding in the river. He wants to try and find a member coming around to the side, and he actually stole away the Might Golem. Rest, we talked about him underperforming the first day, now coming on out, stealing away jungle.
You know what they call Rest? Captain America, because he looks like him. Okay. Espresso is going to be holding this lane in the meantime, and I do like that because he's the Irie we wanted to see play a little bit more aggressive. He's going to be the player I'm watching to dive in and burn down the back line.
Well, Sleepy gets knocked out there, has to respect Tainted Ones, as he did get a nice thick chunk of damage down onto that Liliana. KO gonna go ahead, clear out the Seagull. It's a little bit slow here. Pew has the single spear kill coming out so far, but we haven't really seen him do a whole lot else. It looks like North America want to force plays, and they do catch him out. Moonfall comes on down from Tainted Ones, but he's got 3 members of North America looking to hunt him on down. The Malik ultimate looking for the zone, and that's going to be another knock-up coming on through from Tainted Ones, but he gets stunned up and taken on down.
He stayed entirely too long there. We wondered if maybe he was a little bit more comfortable on high mobility characters. I definitely feel like we saw that change affect him there, as he could not get out in time.
Gets another spear onto the Espresso below the tower. Tower's going to be taken down to about 1/3 health. Singapore want to try and answer this. Zays jumps in with that Rourke. Hissy Fit comes on down, though, and that's going to zone them away.
Zoning them back. The Irie very nearly turned that fight around. Espresso dives in, but doesn't quite have enough damage on the Ryu ultimate yet. We saw a double stun and a big chunk of damage come from him. There it is again.
Oh, gonna run back underneath his tower. You do see Pew.
Is that just for lane clear?
Yeah, I think he was just clearing out the wave, because honestly that tower...
Because he's going to recall, so by the time he's back in the fight, it'll probably be mostly
Singapore, though, looking for a possible play here toward the bot side of the map. They wanted to go for that Abyssal Dragon, but had MTS come up to the river, just aggro it, say, hey, you know, you don't get an easy take here. And now, looking to set up a trap for North America in the mid lane. Rest and Sleepy, they don't know what's waiting around the corner. They're going to show themselves finally, but they're playing a little far back, so they can't go for the play.
This means, though, they can reset, go back to the Abyssal. NA have full vision on it, and they're coming in hot.
MTS does have his ultimate available if he wants to go for the engage into the jungle. Deciding against it, Sleepy able to land the stun, but this does give North America position onto the Abyssal Dragon.
They've just confirmed over on Singapore they're going for the Abyssal, and they'll commit. Zays
gets in there, steals away the Abyssal Dragon. But they gotta be running for the hill. Shock comes on down, lands onto 3 members. Moonfall comes back out from Tainted Ones. That's enough to force North America from continuing with the engage.
That might be a tower picked up. It definitely should be in the top lane, but I think that's a worthwhile trade.
It's going to be 2 towers, though, for North America. 1 in bot lane, 1 toward the top. So feeling a little better about the trade, but still the Abyssal Dragon in Singapore's favor.
2 towers shifts it. That's now the gold lead solidly in favor of NA again, and a whole bunch of map control as well. If you remember, game number 1, not a single tower fell on the North American side. If I'm Singapore, I want to start gaining that gold pressure right about now.
North America looking to group up toward the mid lane. Want to go for a play. Tainted Ones is going to pop the Moonfall, and El Preso goes in, lands the 3 stun, but unfortunately the rest of the team just isn't communicating, it seems, TJ, going all at once for these fights.
Yeah, I really, really like the Singapore side being able to fall back, disengage from fights that aren't theirs, but they need to be doing something else with this time. I want to see aggression come in when they see a commit from NA. If you know 4 people are up top, do this. Focus down isolated players.
Sleepy is going to be able to get back to safety, though, underneath his tower. Rest is also toward the side with the stun available if he wants to try and disengage. North America toward the top side of the map might be looking for a play here onto Espresso. MTS in the bot lane just looking to clear out the waves.
I think they kind of desperately want to shut down
Singapore.
Zays, because Zays for Singapore is doing quite well in gold right now on the Rourke.
We have Dusk, who's made his way up toward the mid lane. NA maybe for the trap. The knock-up is there. Espresso jumps on to Rest, able to lock him on down. Hissy Fit comes back on out. Tainted One still has the moonfall. Finally, he's gonna pop it, but the shock comes on down. 2 members of Singapore are gonna fall.
Beautiful fight start from Singapore, but then instantly that Hissy Fit comes through and splits it up, completely stopping Singapore in their tracks. They're not able to focus down any individual member of the opposing team, and as a result, have to retreat.
0-6 for North America. They have themselves 3 towers. Let's take another look here. This is a bit chaotic.
Oh my god, that Hissy Fit was perfect. Then the shot comes through perfectly timed afterwards, and that moonfall was definitely a bit late in the fight.
See, MTS looking to just jump on in. Dust gets deleted off the game files by Sleepy, and Pew is also going to go ahead and take the 2nd tier tower. North America want to continue on this push, it would seem. Sleepy going to get knocked up, has to be a bit careful himself. He's taken down to about half health.
I feel like now's a good time to remind everyone North America had the fastest game time in the entire Valor series. They speedrun this video game.
Looking to bring down the Hissy Fit in mid lane once again by Rest, just using them to zone them off the tower. 4,000 gold lead, and now the Abyssal Dragon on the table for North America.
Abyssal Dragon, if that's picked up, basically seals the gold lead. That's fast enough that North America don't need to worry about much for a while now.
And for Dusk, he's trapped there by the Omen. The knockup's coming on through, but 3 members of North America just pile in. 8th kill of the game. Singapore is starting to look dire, TJ.
Zaze was just in the bush watching.
He was enjoying himself. It was a treat and a show. He was just like, wow.
He had his binoculars out. He was like, yeah, you're screwed, bud. nothing I can do about that.
Well, they do pick themselves up their first tower of the game up toward the top side of the map, but North America coming back on over, looking for El Preso. Rest is also there, gonna pop down the Hissy Fit. Doesn't use it too effectively. Singapore just looking to back off.
I like that. Good response.
Wait, Omen!
Oh!
KO! He loses his life, but he does pick up the high ground tower.
That's huge. I was just about to praise Singapore for their map awareness, and they go and lose a high ground tower to a single man.
That's a little bit ugly, and that's not prettier because Singapore is starting to lose hope, it would seem. NA, now with Super Minions coming through the bot lane, want to apply pressure, and even looking toward now the mid lane, the map control, the wave manipulation starting to show here as they now take down their 7th tower of the game.
Dusk has to use the cull just to get out. In the meantime, Tainted Ones is using his wave clear smartly, slowing down the fight. This becomes a comeback. You start looking for the 13 to 15 minute mark here. North America are solidly in the lead.
North America, the pressure coming out from the top lane. Meanwhile, down in bot, KO on the Omen, gonna look to just push away, try and bring down Singapore, because someone has to answer this wave or else the base is just gonna get flooded. Sleepy over toward the side. Pew looking to find a pick with the spear. Damage coming down underneath the tower. Hissy Fit comes on out. Tainted Ones. El Preso is onto the back line. He gets Rest pretty low, but he will fall as Pew goes ultimate.
Too far
Tainted Ones can't be part of this fight. He had to go back to the base. North America now take down 2 members of Singapore. They got minions in the bot wave. They're wanting to lock in their ticket into the knockout stage. MTS dives on in. Tainted Ones gets deleted once again, and North America move on to the knockout stage.
Do you hear that? I think it's a caw of a bald eagle soaring in. They're into the quarterfinals.
Luckily for them, they now have their shot of trying to climb to the grand final. But for Singapore, this team that was brought together at the last minute, you got to give them props for at least taking a game off Thailand.
Absolutely. They showed up very, very well. There's Captain America himself giving everyone a handshake.
Wait, Chris Evans is here? TJ.
No, it's just Rest.
Oh, okay. Can I at least get his autograph? Will he sign it like...
I would get Rest's autograph.
You can't blame him. He played much better this series, and I think that's a highlight for me because, again, high kill participation. We saw it more in the first game, but when you give him picks like this, Alice, he can look to make plays.
Do Eagles caw?
Do they screech?
I think they might screech. It's all right. Everyone's got what I meant. Singapore, this was a rough set for them because North America clearly were taking them 100% seriously and powering through again. Sleepy. I don't think I need to say anything. The numbers speak for themselves.
That's when you have, you know, like an Omen on the team, also a marksman. You know, you can get some damage.
Slow people down. So much in the North American composition is centered around setting things up for Sleepy, and it worked so well in Game 1. There in Game 2, again, Sleepy is constantly having the benefit of slows, setting him up for big damage.
And you saw the plan from North America from the beginning, looking to dive onto Tainted Ones so he couldn't do any damage with that Moonfall, get CC'd, get put into the ground.
Shout out to Singapore for definitely contesting Game 1, definitely having good moments in Game 2. Again, they were a team that did not even qualify. They came in as a replacement for the Philippines roster from Clunch Guild, and they still showed up. They still definitely did their region proud. North America, though, they have a chance to make their region very proud indeed. Should they succeed in the quarterfinals tomorrow, they're going to have the opportunity to go all the way to the Chinese theater.
That's a strong possibility. They do come out, though, as the second seed out of Group A. There's still a lot of tough teams they could get matched with. We'll see who they'll be playing against later on.
A for America.
A for America.
Group A. Your victors from it will be Thailand and North America. Those two teams are going through to the quarterfinals.
You see there, North America enjoying that spicy 38-team KDA. Only the one death. Feeling pretty confident about their chances as they move on.
10 minutes 39 game time. Keeping track with North America. I believe they had a 12-minute game average in Valor series.
Yeah, it was around 11.5 minutes, if I recall exactly.
Yeah, so definitely on pace for them. A little bit quicker than normal, and I'm sure they're ecstatic with all that.
Well, let's see how they are feeling, TJ. We're going to go ahead, throw it on over to Matt at the stage with an interview with the man himself, Rest.
Thanks, TJ. Thanks, Opal. Rest. North America. You're going to hang around in this thing a little bit longer then. We're in Los Angeles. I'm sure you guys would love to walk out onto the stage of the TCL Chinese Theatre in Hollywood. To get there, you've got to get through the quarterfinals. You're in the quarterfinals. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Feels good?
Yeah, it feels really good to be able to make it out of the group stage and make it to the quarterfinals.
How did that game go compared to your expectations? You can't have known much about Singapore before we got here, having not seen them in the boot camp.
We didn't really know how much to expect. We just watched the games of them versus Thailand, and we came the best prepared that we could have.
Yeah. And the draft and everything went to plan. A 2-0 was what you expected. You didn't think you might get a tougher fight from Singapore?
The draft went very well, especially for us. We liked both the drafts. And we know we needed the 2-0. That way we wouldn't have to go into the tiebreaker, so we just tried our hardest.
Yeah, that tiebreaker would have been something else. We would have gone to a further best of one if Singapore had managed to even get one game there. So quarterfinals then. That's got to feel good. Does it matter to you guys that we're here in America and you're doing this thing on home turf?
Yeah, it's nice to be in an area that we're familiar with versus being in another country.
Yeah. Well done. Quarterfinalists, congratulations on that. Thailand go through as the top of Group A, and North America will go through as the runners-up, so they'll play the top of one of the other groups. Rest, we will see more from you in the quarterfinals stage. There's confirmation of how Group A ends up. 4 wins in games to Thailand. They just dropped that 1 to Singapore yesterday, but they are top of Group A, and North America will go through as the runners-up. They'll play then the leader of B, C, or D. Some of those are a little bit determined, but we got some more fun to have. So Rest and North America in the quarterfinals. Chinese Taipei against Indonesia will be our deciding match of Group B, and that's going to come up next here at the Arena of Valor World Cup. So don't go anywhere. We've got more fantastic games like that one coming up all day.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to introduce Batman. Batman is an assassin superhero who depends upon his ability to deal explosive levels of damage. Batman is able to weave in and out of battle by himself and break down enemy ranks. Passive skill, Caped Crusader. Batman bends himself to the shadows. He will gain a 20% increased movement speed when he nears an enemy hero. However, this speed boost will disappear should he leave with his back turned to the enemy hero. So Batman is able to rely on this speed boost effect to easily hunt and slay enemy forces as they flee while low on health. Skill 1, Forearm Strike. Batman releases a quick blade that deals damage to nearby enemies, followed by a second attack against a random enemy next to him, dealing the same quantity of damage. This is an area of effect skill, and the second attack preferences striking enemy heroes. His first skill is certain to deal grief in 2 stages to the enemy when he faces only one enemy hero. Skill 2, Batarang. Batman will throw out a batarang that damages enemies and reduces their movement speed. This is a straight line area of effect skill that, after 3 seconds, will also cause enemies to suffer physical damage equivalent to 24% of the HP they just lost. If enemies who have suffered from Batman's second skill are struck again by Batman within 3 seconds, they will become dizzy and enable Batman to restore some of his HP. Deal a lot of damage after you just release the second skill during battle, and you'll boost the damage you inflict after 3 seconds to its maximum extent. Skill 3, Dark Knight. Batman uses his natural affinity with bats to make himself invisible after 1.5 seconds. This skill will last for 30 seconds, during which time, if it is released again, Batman will appear and launch an attack in your designated direction. This skill has a line-based area of effect. If you are invisible and wait next to the enemy for more than 3 seconds, this will dispel the invisibility at a slightly greater range than for the skill. Of course, Batman will also dispel his invisibility if he inflicts damage on enemies. In any case, enemies further away from Batman will start to notice something is amiss when he is invisible, and an alert will appear over their heads. So you have to grab the opportunity once your third ability makes you invisible. Get close to enemies and then release all your skills on them. Typically, Batman will damage enemies using his second and first skills together. One use of Batman's second skill is sometimes enough to take out an enemy when they are low on health. Should Batman not be doing very well, he can activate his third ability to slip away from the field easily. Batman would normally first use his ultimate to hide himself in the shadow. Then, after getting close to his enemies, strike with his second skill and unleash all his skills in a quick flurry of takedowns. Of course, you can also reserve his ultimate for a second release, and it may get used again as enemies flee. In summary, Batman possesses super rating skills and can easily deal explosive damage for a win. Thanks for watching today's Hero Spotlight of Batman. See you next time. Hi everyone, the hero we are introducing today is Superman. Superman can crash enemy team formation as a warrior or can quickly finish enemy targets when they are running low. Speed is power. If you are not a tanky hero, then whenever you see a Superman flying, stay away from him. Passive Flight. Superman has 2 modes, flying and walking. He gains 2% movement speed and charges energy for every 100 units he walks, and takes flight once energy is fully charged. Flight mode grants 20% movement speed when moving towards an enemy, and his normal attacks deal additional damage equal to 12% of his own maximum HP. Superman exits flight mode when he is hit with a control effect that lowers his movement speed to 375 or less. Superman's passive is the key to deal high damage, so make sure he can be in flying mode as frequently as possible. To make sure he can take off quickly, a recommended item is Gilded Greaves. It can prevent Superman from being slowed down. First ability, Kryptonian Strength. Superman uses his ice breath to generate a blizzard that deals physical damage to enemies and slows their movement speed by 50% for 1 second. If in flight mode, Superman rams into enemies, dealing 12% of maximum HP physical damage, and then fires his heat vision, dealing an additional physical damage. Superman's main ability to deal damage, it is recommended to level up first. If Superman is in flying mode, the first ability can also knock back enemy targets. That being said, you can now get behind enemy's team and push them to your teammates or tower. Second ability, Man of Steel. Superman unleashes his full power, which immediately frees him from control effects and significantly increases his movement speed. If in flight mode, Superman will slam the ground and knock back enemies, dealing physical damage as well as rid himself of control effects and increase his movement speed. Although Superman's second ability can boost movement speed, but due to its long cooldown, it's not a good idea to use it at first. Try waiting for enemies' control abilities, then unleash Man of Steel to offset them. Ultimate Speeding Bullet. Superman taps into his full potential, which increases his charge-up speed by 100% for 10 seconds. If in flight mode, Superman will ram into his enemies and knock them back, dealing physical damage, and have his charge-up speed increased by 100% for 10 seconds. While flying, Superman's ultimate is a crowd control ability. He can use it to push away enemies' targets when teammates are running low. When playing Superman, here are some of the tips to remember. 1. Superman can provide fast support. After cleaning the waves, Superman should always be looking for support opportunities in the first time. This will make it easy to outnumber opponents and win the battle. 2. Superman is a great threat to enemies' squishy heroes, so attack from behind enemies' team is definitely a good choice. If successful, this can nuke down enemies' carry in seconds. 3. Purify and Execute is recommended for Summoner's skill. Purify can prevent Superman from being slowed down to make sure he can fly, while Execute can boost Superman's damage to nuke down enemy. Thanks for watching today's episode. See you again next time.
Welcome back to Do or Die Day of the Arena of Valor World Cup. First game is done for today. Group A is over. We'll go to Group B. That's going to feature Indonesia, who lost their first game back on day one against Vietnam. And then Vietnam lost their game to Chinese Taipei. So that's how this matchup is looking. Chinese Taipei with a bit of the upper hand and maybe favorites for this game as well after beating Indonesia in the boot camp that we had last month. So it's all looking like Chinese Taipei are going to get through and Indonesia are going to need to cause an upset. But we may well get that because so far this World Cup has had a few surprises. Chinese Taipei and Indonesia in Group B. That's where we're going next. Let's go over to our casters and get into another amazing best of three.
Thank you, Matt. 1 down, 3 to go here at our final day of the group stage of the Arena of Valor World Cup. I'm Opal, now joined by Sweet J. How you doing today? It's exciting, eh? It's the final day of groups.
Yeah, doing great. Amazing to see North America, the home region, move forward, but we are on the next match, and it is going to be Chinese Taipei versus Indonesia. And man, do they have a match, because we saw Indonesia lose to Vietnam, and Chinese Taipei beat Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
The odds are not in their favor.
Yeah, not too much into their favor, unfortunately. Indonesia, they were able to find some victories here or there, but unfortunately never converted it into a series, and they now have their toughest opponent yet in the form of Chinese Taipei. For Chinese Taipei, starting things off, gonna be for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, Yuzan, he is the player to watch here, averaging 700 gold per minute. That's the second highest in the World Cup so far. That's someone they need to watch out for. His split pushing power is just amazing. And the team's damage is spread out. Neil, the jungler, does about 18% damage. Yuzan contributes 90% on average, wins 20%. So this is a team that works and loves to fight together.
But then across the stage, it's going to be Indonesia, who have been feeling confident so far, but they haven't been able to find themselves series wins, and only some individual game performances. Starting for them, going to be Hans, Wira, Ahmed, Y-Force, and Caraway.
Yeah, Ahmed is the guy to watch there. He has such a good KDA on his team. He is the carry. He carried 4-1-1 as Thailand in the game versus Vietnam. It was such a close game, 8-8. But they're going to need to protect him and make sure they do not fall to the pressure that Chinese Taipei is going to exert on them.
And for these players, like we've said, it is do or die. So how are they feeling going into the matchup?
Yeah, I think they need to look back.
My team were better because we were practicing very hard.
Our team work as just like brothers.
Every day, we just keep practice, and learn more.
We win and win and win.
我们的人员技术好，前期入侵强，然后还有拉打，一般队伍还要强。
希望你们在毕业的时候不要针对我，因为那些都是多余的。
对我个人来说，最大的挑战就是做到完美吧。
And you see it right there, Yuzan. Every game has to be perfect. That is the challenge here for Chinese Taipei. They have to execute it against Indonesia.
Yeah, I think they're looking pretty good. Indonesia is a team that loves to fight. Against Vietnam, they were up 20-12 in kills, but they still lost. So I feel like the objective game, the rotations, the map control, Indonesia has got to watch out. They love catching people out, but they need to convert these kills into map pressure, map control, and objectives to be able to stand a chance against Chinese Taipei.
You can practice every day, but you got to execute. Let's go to the coin flip and see. It looks like Indonesia will actually have the choice here on sides to start things off in game one.
Yeah. Indonesia is going to be blue there. They're going to be able to get that first pick. And when they are on that blue side, they like to ban that Teamy. And for some reason, against Vietnam, they banned Chognar. So I'm hoping, please, do not waste that ban on that Chognar. Ban something else.
Well, me and TJ mentioned earlier on here that he's only sitting at about a 33% win rate coming into the day. So it's not a super high priority pick as far as stats go. So maybe you can use that on something a little bit more important. You don't want to give up, say, Superman, or the Omen, the Teamy, something along those lines. Something that has a lot more impact when it comes to these games.
Yeah, exactly. And we see like some really strong heroes like Crixie. If you don't want to ban Chognar, maybe you can ban her because she's been seeing a really nice win rate lately. And these are the heroes that you want to kind of focus on. Omen, 78% win rate in the matches at the World Cup. Lindis, over 70% win rate. Irie as well. You got to watch these heroes and make sure that you adapt to the meta because we saw the Omen Zenio drafts. We saw how Irie is so strong in the side lane, and even Tara can't hold off against Irie. She's too fast, she gets too fed. These are the things that Indonesia needs to watch the recent games from the past 2 days because that's the best time to study what has changed, what are their power picks, and adjust your ban draft strategy based on that.
And for Indonesia, we often talk about Ahmed and his performance. Well, he's up against Star in this matchup.
Yeah.
He's got a very tough opponent, and he's going to have to prove himself at the world stage. Final match possibly for this team as we head on into Game 1's draft.
So well, in Arum being banned, Arum, Omen, Superman, and Malik are 100% banned or picked. So we're gonna see potentially the Omen come out. If not, it should be first pick. But Malik could also come out as a ban as well because he's so strong in the side lane.
For Indonesia, what do they want to ban out here? What do they want to leave up onto the table? You've already got rid of the Teamy, maybe signaling to an early Alice pickup. Still the Grok available too, if somebody wanted to pick that one on too, as he's popped his way up through the World Cup so far.
Surprisingly though, with how Grok was played, I mean, some teams just executed him so well.
Ooh,
he's either a feast or famine, right? He has a 38% win rate. But Crixie, I just called it. Crixie ban. I love that they ban away Crixie because she's so strong, and we saw how well she does in almost every single team. And now it's a great time to pick Omen here because Zenio is banned. You should definitely take the Omen here if your side laner can play him really well.
But you still got to worry about here, it's Yuzon, because we look at Yuzon, and he has a pretty deep pool when it comes to the heroes. We know one in particular that has been shown just yet.
Yeah.
This is Lubu.
Exactly, and you do not want to give Yuzon Omen. If you do not pick Omen, you give it to Yuzon, that's GG. The game is done. And it's really the side... Yes, there we go. The Omen's been picked up. It's the side lane matchups I'm looking at, and then the mid lane matchup. So Indonesia have done their homework. I'm super going to come down to how these two heroes play to carry their team to success.
Well, this is do or die for Indonesia. Chinese Taipei are feeling comfortable, but if Indonesia do actually pick up 2 wins here, there is a possibility for them to force a tiebreaker. They'll have to double.
They got to do 2-0.
Yeah, you got to do a 2-0, and that's the difficult part.
That is the very, very difficult part. So let's see if that is going to be possible.
Well, we're going to be loading on in for Game 1 here quite shortly. Make sure to leave your thoughts in chat, guys, on who you think is going to be taking this one home. Indonesia looking to be the underdogs as they come out into Group B. You can see him looking at us, looking directly into our eyes. He knows what's going on.
He's that side laner. I mean, again, he has the most gold per minute on the team usually, hitting an average of 720. That's the second, or that's the third highest overall of all the players in the World Cup. And that's with Ari, he's going to be able to get into the jungle and take the farm.
And that's impressive for him because the other 2 players are in the group with South America. So they're able to pick up that much gold and damage per minute. He's going against, you know, some pretty difficult teams. Either way, we're going to go ahead, load on in for Game 1 between Indonesia and Chinese Taipei.
They're going to trade jungles here. Yuzon's going to give a vision on his red. I think he's going to leash it. Yep, he's going to... No, he's not going to leash it. He's going to just back off because that's a little risky there, and they're going to trade jungles.
We did see there Wins and Neil just clearing out this side. And the Grak actually came on out to pull that away. Caraway looking to try and run interference. Wife Force, though, that's a lot of damage onto the Wonder Woman early on.
Yeah, that's the power of Tulin early game. Once he turns level 2, no one can contest him. Ahmed's got to be a little careful there because Tulin is going to be able to put a lot more pressure in the mid lane. And look at that. They're going to take this red and back right out.
A little bit of delay. You had Benny and Wins have to come into the jungle to help secure the Mike Golem for the Slims. Neil now heading back up toward his jungle. Meanwhile, Wera up toward the top side on the Rourke, just going to be looking to farm away at this point. Look to then join in onto the fights a little bit later. And this is going to be a very tough lane here for Y-Force against Wins.
Yeah, definitely. You can see what Chinese Taipei doing. Benny is auto-attacking. The support is helping clear, helping Tulin put pressure. And look at this combo, getting the Sunshine onto Hans here.
Yeah, comes on out, gets the stun on down, but unfortunately, not a lot of damage to help follow up. Caraway also making his way up toward the lane. The stun's gonna land. Minions are also there to help protect. And the blind hook over underneath the tower is gonna bring Benny back into the brush. Underneath Benny, close to falling. The double stun is there. Benny lives for so long, but that's gonna be first blood. Wow. But Yuzon picks up 2 kills of his own.
Yuzon delayed that with that spin, hitting 2 members, letting Benny live long enough. And then they took some tower shots. Benny used the heal. That was just amazing play to turn that around.
And that is not who you want to give 2 kills over to on the side of Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, look at that. Benny's still dying and still getting those auto attacks off. He's just so efficient. He's always doing something.
And we saw Neil actually coming down toward the bot lane to help pick up the kill onto Y-Force. Caraway gets the hook underneath the tower. So far, so good with the hooks, but unfortunately, the tower still taking damage. The rest of the team coming on down. Wynn's taking a lot of damage, but Benny and Star also here for support. That's going to allow Chinese Taipei to back off and get some control around this Abyssal Dragon.
Yeah, and look at that rotation. They're able to rotate and put pressure, save Neo there, because if they don't do that rotation, Neo would probably be caught out by Rerar. So this is really good so far by Chinese Taipei. When they try to gank the side lane, they're not making a mistake like Indonesia did and give over 2 deaths on top.
So far, it's going to be a 1,300 gold lead for Chinese Taipei. As we hit 3 minutes, still the Abyssal Dragon available for both teams if they decide to go for it. Looks like instead, Star wants to go for a play up. Ooh. Wow, that was a pretty close hook for Caraway.
Yeah, Caraway with that Devil's Chain so close there. I said, Grak is going to be the game changer, the playmaker on Indonesia for them to have a chance in China. Nice rotation there. He's taking away the red.
Able to steal away a camp from Chinese Taipei. That's a nice move, but got to keep on the pressure if they want to try and shut down members, because look toward the bot side of the map. The Abyssal Dragon going to be started up here.
Yeah, 4-man rotation onto it, and they rush it immediately. They pull it out, however, Caraway is trying to get a Dove Chain.
Nope. Goes for it. Neil is going to be able to secure. Hissy Fit came on down. Wins is just looking to zone back Y-Force as he gets taken down by Star.
Yeah, what a nice shot there. Just cuts off the Wonder Woman. Again, Wonder Woman, once she's in the fight, she doesn't have the best disengage. She doesn't have a lot of escapes, and that's why Wonder Woman is a heavy engage hero, but when she's caught out, she's in big trouble.
Look at this push. The pressure now coming on down. World Devourer going to be used there by Caraway, but it's a little too far away from Wins, and the damage coming on through by Neil, looking to finish him off with the spear. Isn't going to find it, but Wura will go down. Caraway walks back to the tower. That's going to be a double kill for Neil, and the rest of the team wants to dive on forward.
Wow.
Wins gets taken down, but Y-Force will fall as well.
Win did such a good job. He pretends to run away, then he backs up when they all bunch up. He gets a nice 3-man cleave. He gets so much barrier health as Malik, absorbing all that damage, and gets another cleave to secure the kill underneath Tier 1 tower, and then continues to push and helps Neil basically put so much pressure and get these kills.
You can see the dive coming on back. Caraway went back toward his first tier tower. Neil ends up picking up a triple here.
Yeah, that was huge. He is fed. He is ahead of Yuzon, and normally Yuzon is the one that's ahead. They are staying toe-to-toe each other when it comes to farm, but look how efficient their farm is. They're constantly just farming, and getting it. Look at the items. Mantle Raw finish, Sonic Boots finish on Ari, 3k gold, 3.6k gold on Slims. He's going to finish his 3rd tier 3 soon. And look at Wonder Woman, only 1 tier 3 item, and Rourke hasn't even finished 1 tier 3 yet.
Oh, no.
That is not looking good for him.
We've seen this before when it comes to the Rourkes. If they're shut down early, they can really do honestly nothing for majority of the game. You can see the damage coming on down. Ahmed forced to roam on over. A 4,000 gold lead for Chinese Taipei. Yuzon wants to help lead the charge. Caraway does not have the hook available. Ahmed is going to go over the wall.
Yeah, Chinese Taipei, their movements are they're so good at anticipating when and how their opponents are going to use their bait. They dodge the Devil's Chain, they dodge the Omen's Death Spec in. They're not even getting pulled by any of this stuff, and they're doing such a good job with their movements as a team.
Oh my lord, Ahmed standing still. Star will happily take the kill. A little bit of a questionable play there coming out from Ahmed. It's going to cost them. Y-Force down toward that bot lane, still being abused by Wins.
Yeah, again, Benny, the Sunshine stun along with the follow-up from Slims there. That's so devastating when the Alice and Slims combo. You get CC for a good 2 to 3 seconds.